I think we all feel it sometimes, right? Like there's just so much information out there, so
Yeah.
much to learn.
Right.
And you just want to kind of cut through the noise. You want
Hmm.
to get to the core of what really matters when it comes to achieving success.
Absolutely.
And you don't necessarily have time to wade through hundreds of pages or, listen to hours and hours.
You want the shortcut?
You want the shortcuts, exactly.
The cheat sheet.
You want the cheat sheet
To success.
to success.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing today.
Right.
We're diving deep
That's right.
into the essential principles of achieving high-level success.
Yeah.
And we're going to be drawing insights from Dean Graziosi's book, Millionaire Success Habits.
A great book.
Yeah, it really
It's
is.
very practical.
Yeah, very, very practical. And it's sold over 300,000 copies.
Right. So clearly,
It's resonating with people.
it's resonating with people. Yeah.
And I think one of the things that sets it apart
Mhm.
is who Graziosi dedicates the book to.
Right.
So he dedicates it to Tony Robbins.
Big names.
Yeah, Joe
Wow.
Polish and
Yes.
Dan Sullivan.
Huge names in the self-development.
Yeah, these are like giants
Of
in the world
course.
of peak performance and business strategy.
Yeah. And they were very influential in his life. So,
So right away, you kind of get a sense of like,
you're in the right place.
you're in the right place. This is going to be good stuff.
Yeah.
So our mission today is to really extract those critical success habits that he has identified through, decades of his own experience and from observing individuals who are consistently operating at
the highest level.
the highest levels. Yeah.
Mhm.
We're going to dig into the core of what makes those people tick.
Absolutely.
And we'll be here to guide you along the way
That's right.
and help you apply these ideas to your own goals, no matter where you are.
No matter where you are starting out. Yeah.
Starting out. Yeah, exactly.
All about you.
It's all about you.
It's about your journey.
It's about your journey.
Where you are now, where you want to go.
Yeah.
And then we'll bridge that gap.
Exactly. And the book has been endorsed by some pretty impressive people.
It has.
You've got Larry King.
Yeah.
You've got Brendan Burchard, who wrote High Performance Habits.
Right.
David Back, who wrote The Latte Factor.
Okay.
And Marie Forleo.
Really big names.
Huge names. So again, it kind of gives you that sense that,
Yeah. You're going to get some real value out of this.
yeah, this is something worth paying attention to.
Yeah.
So let's dive in.
Right.
Graziosi starts the book by introducing us to someone he calls JP.
Right.
And JP's early life was, let's just say, it was not
It was not a walk in the park.
a walk in the park.
No silver spoon.
No silver spoon involved.
Man.
He was born into poverty in 1944.
Okay.
His parents divorced before he was even 2 years old.
Wow.
And by the age of 9, he was already out there hustling, selling things.
Wow. So he's got that entrepreneurial spirit from a young age.
Yeah, you can just see it like,
It's in his DNA.
it's in his DNA.
It's ingrained in him.
Yeah. So he was selling newspapers, he was selling plants, Christmas cards,
Yeah.
anything he could to help his mom make ends meet.
Wow.
And then things took a turn and he and his brother ended up in foster care.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, really, really tough beginning.
Yeah. That kind of early adversity often I find
Mhm.
forges this incredible resilience, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger type of thing.
Yeah.
And Dean points to a moment in
Yeah.
high school that was really significant in JP's life.
Mm-hmm.
A teacher told him and a friend, you guys will never amount to anything.
Oh, wow.
And instead of being crushed by that negativity,
Yeah.
he had this internal reaction like, I'll prove him wrong.
I love that.
Yeah. And it's powerful how a moment like that
Yeah.
can really shape your, habits, your
Just
drive.
shape your whole life.
Yeah, your trajectory.
Yeah.
It can light a fire under you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And, JP's early work ethic was just incredible.
So talk about that.
He talks about sweeping floors at a laundry shop
Right.
for $1.25 an hour.
Not a lot of money,
Not a lot of money.
but he was giving it his all.
But he gave it his all. He didn't just phone it in.
Right.
He was meticulous, He kept that place spotless.
Mm-hmm.
And his boss, who was notoriously Chip,
Okay.
was so impressed that he actually gave JP a raise
Wow.
to $1.50 an hour.
What a huge jump.
It was a huge jump, But Graziosi's point here is that
What is the lesson here?
the lesson here is that successful people,
Yeah.
they bring their A game
Yeah.
to whatever they're doing.
Whether it's for themselves or for someone else.
Exactly. Doesn't matter if they're working for someone else or if it's their own venture.
It's about excellence.
It's about that commitment to excellence.
Yeah.
And that sets the stage for this central theme, right?
Mhm.
Success isn't something that just happens by chance.
It's built on habits.
It's built on these habits,
Yeah.
these deliberate habits.
No.
And so as we continue with JP's story,
Yeah.
you see more and more of these habits being formed.
Mm.
So after high school,
Okay.
he spent some time in the Navy.
Okay.
And then, he found himself bouncing around between various low-paying jobs.
Yeah, struggling to make ends meet.
Yeah, just trying to survive.
Mm-hmm.
And one of those jobs was selling encyclopedias door to door.
Oh, man, that's got to be tough.
I can't even imagine.
Door-to-door sales.
It's brutal.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just constant rejection.
Right.
But this is where you see this really crucial success habit emerge.
Right. Well,
So JP, he learned to just maintain this incredible enthusiasm. Like, no matter how many doors were slammed in his face, he kept that positive energy.
Yeah.
So he talks about knocking on 50 doors to get one. Yes.
50 doors just for one, yes.
Just for one. Yeah.
And probably not a huge sale either.
And probably, not a huge sale, right?
Right.
But the important thing is that he approached that 51st door and every door after that with that same level of enthusiasm and positive expectation.
Right. It didn't matter if it was door number 1 or door number 100.
It didn't matter.
He brought that same energy.
He brought that same energy.
Every single time.
Every single time.
Yeah.
And Graziosi mentions that the average lifespan for someone in that role back then was 3 days.
3 days.
3 days. People could not handle it.
Couldn't hack it.
Yeah.
The rejection was too much.
Too much.
Yeah.
JP lasted 3.5 years.
Wow. That's amazing.
So that just shows you...
That shows you the power of resilience right there.
The power of resilience.
Not letting those no's get you down.
Yeah, just brushing it off and moving on to the next one.
Yeah, keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah, that ability to bounce back.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really fundamental.
It really is.
And the story takes kind of another downturn.
Yeah.
In his early 20s,
Mm-hmm.
JP experienced homelessness.
Oh.
His marriage fell apart. He was evicted from his apartment.
Jeez.
And he was living in his car with his young son.
Oh, my God.
Collecting cans to try and scrape by.
That's rock bottom?
It's rock bottom.
Yeah.
But Graziosi points out
Yeah.
that, when you hit rock bottom,
Yeah.
the only way to go is up.
The only way to go is up.
Right.
Yeah.
And sometimes those incredibly difficult experiences
Yeah.
can be the catalyst for something extraordinary.
They can be the thing that lights the fire.
Yeah, that's right. And that's what happened with JP.
Yeah. So despite having almost nothing, I think he had $700 to his name.
That's it?
That's it.
$700.
$700.
Wow.
He decides to start his own company.
Okay.
And of course, everyone around him is like,
Yeah.
are you crazy?
You need more money.
You need more money.
You need more education.
You need more experience.
The economy's terrible.
The economy's terrible.
Now's not the time.
Now's not the time, right? All the reasons why it's a bad idea.
All the reasons.
But JP, demonstrating another key success habit,
Which is
believing in himself.
Yeah.
Believing in his vision.
Right.
He takes the leap anyway.
He tunes out the naysayers.
He tunes out the naysayers.
Wow.
He goes for it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't easy.
No.
Those first 2 years,
Yeah.
his company was on the verge of bankruptcy.
Oh, my.
Like, constantly.
Just barely hanging on.
Barely hanging on.
Yeah.
But through sheer grit and determination,
Yeah.
they managed to pull through.
And what got them through those tough times?
I think a big part of it was another vital success habit that he developed,
Okay.
which was the importance of truly listening to and understanding the needs of his customers.
So it wasn't just about selling a product.
It wasn't just about selling a product. It was about building relationships.
Yeah.
It was about providing value.
Solving problems.
Solving problems.
Yeah.
And that customer-centric approach
was really key to their eventual growth and success.
It's amazing how often those simple principles is all the difference.
They really do.
Yeah.
So let's just recap for a second.
Okay.
The key positive success habits that we've seen in JP's journey so far,
Right.
as highlighted by Graziosi,
Yeah.
you've got the ability to really listen and understand others.
Okay.
Having a clear and compelling vision,
Mm-hmm.
giving your absolute best effort
Yeah.
in every single endeavor,
Right.
refusing to be deterred by the naysayers,
Yeah.
and maintaining a positive and resilient attitude,
Right.
even when faced with constant rejection.
Even when it feels like the whole world is against you.
When it feels like the whole world is against you,
Yeah.
you just keep going.
You keep going.
And who is this incredibly resilient individual?
Who is this guy?
Well, it's none other than John Paul DeJoria,
No way.
the co-founder of Paul Mitchell
Yeah.
and Patron Tequila.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And in 2015, he was listed among the Forbes 400
Oh.
with a net worth of $2.8 billion.
$2.8 billion.
Yeah.
What a story. From living in his car
To $2.8 billion.
to a multi-billionaire.
Yeah.
Talk about a turnaround.
It's incredible.
Yeah. And Dean shares some of DeGiorio's advice,
Yeah.
to aspiring entrepreneurs.
Mm-hmm.
And it really boils down to this.
Yeah.
Cultivate positive habits.
Okay.
Trust your intuition.
Yeah.
Don't let the negativity of others hold you back.
Mm-hmm.
And always strive to do good for others along the way.
Do good.
Yeah.
Give back.
Yeah.
I love it. And
Yeah.
remember that high school teacher?
The one who said they'd never amount to anything.
Yeah, the one who said they would never amount to anything.
Right.
Well, both DeGioia
Yeah.
and his friend Michelle Phillips,
Oh, wow. The Michelle Phillips.
who went on to co-found the Mamas and the Papas.
The Mamas and the Papas.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
They both achieved this extraordinary success.
Talk about proving that teacher wrong.
Proving him wrong.
Yeah.
And DeGioia even recounts meeting that teacher years later.
Really?
And the teacher, upon hearing about their success,
What did he say?
simply said, "Damn, I really missed that one."
Oh, my gosh.
So it's just amazing to think about,
Yeah.
the power of our beliefs
Right.
and the impact that our words can have on others.
Right.
We really have to be mindful of
Of the messages we're sending.
the messages we're sending out into the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think DeGioria's journey really underscores that.
Absolutely.
It doesn't matter where you start.
Yeah.
What matters is where you are now and where you're determined to go.
Right.
Your past doesn't have to define your future.
It's not about where you've been. It's about where you're going.
It's about where you're going.
Yeah. And that's empowering.
It's so empowering.
Yeah, because you can always change your direction.
You can always change your direction. Exactly.
You can always decide to start building those positive habits.
Yeah, and now you might be thinking, okay, this is an amazing story.
Right.
But I'm not John Paul DeGioia.
Yeah, I hear you.
I don't have his drive.
I don't have that kind of resilience.
I don't have that kind of resilience.
Yeah.
But Graziosi's point is that
It's not about being John Paul DeGioia.
it's not about being John Paul DeGioia.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing that those core habits
Yeah.
are learnable.
They're learnable.
And applicable to anyone.
Yeah, anyone can develop these habits.
Regardless of their background.
It's about making that decision to
yeah.
start building them.
It's about that commitment
Commitment.
to developing and consistently applying them.
Absolutely.
And he talks about this common experience
Yeah.
that so many people have in today's world.
Yeah, what is that?
It's that feeling of being constantly busy, but not really making any progress.
Busy but not productive.
Busy but not productive, exactly.
This hamster wheel.
The hamster wheel.
Right.
You're just running and running.
You're spinning your wheels.
You're spinning your wheels.
But you're not actually going anywhere.
You're not getting anywhere.
Yeah.
And Graziosi makes this crucial distinction.
Which is?
It's not just about being busy.
Right.
It's about having the right success habits.
The right habits.
The right habits.
That's key.
That's key.
It's-
Because those habits are going to put you on the right path.
Yeah, it's like having a map.
It's like having a map, exactly.
Right, instead of just wandering aimlessly.
Just wandering aimlessly.
You have a destination in mind and you're following the steps.
You got a destination.
Yeah.
And you know how to get there.
And the habits are the steps that get you there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And without that clear direction, all that activity, all that busyness,
Yeah.
it's just wasted effort.
Wasted effort. It could even take you further away from your goals.
It can take you further away from your goals.
Yeah, because you're putting energy into the wrong things.
Yeah.
Right. You're focused on the wrong things.
And Graziosi even shares a story from his own life
Oh, yeah.
about his challenges with reading as a child.
Oh, okay.
And he had a teacher
Yeah.
who wasn't exactly encouraging.
Another discouraging teacher.
Another discouraging teacher. Yeah.
Jeez, what is it with these teachers telling kids they're not going to amount to anything?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, she would actually tell him that he was unintelligent
Oh, wow.
because he struggled with reading.
Right.
But as is often the case,
Yeah.
these obstacles can actually lead to unexpected strengths.
That's right. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Exactly.
And oftentimes it forces you to develop skills in other areas.
Yeah, so because he struggled with those traditional learning methods,
Yeah.
he developed really strong visual and auditory learning abilities,
Okay.
and he became very good at creating what he calls
What does he call them?
cheat sheets for success.
Cheat sheets for success. I love it. So finding those unconventional ways to
Yeah.
learn and implement information.
Yeah, and that leads perfectly into this concept of success recipes.
Okay.
So Graziosi really frames his book as providing those recipes.
Oh, I like that analogy.
Yeah.
So it's like giving you the step-by-step guide
The step-by-step guide.
to achieve a certain outcome.
Yeah, he uses this great analogy.
Okay.
He says, if you want to cook a fantastic dish,
Yeah.
you could spend years, mastering all the culinary techniques.
Right.
Or you could just follow a chef's proven recipe for that specific dish.
Exactly. And that's what the book is like.
Yeah.
It's like a recipe book for success.
Yeah.
He's giving you the ingredients, the steps.
The step.
And all you got to do is follow them.
Follow them.
And you'll get the outcome you want.
And you'll get the outcome you want. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not about these massive overnight transformations.
All right.
It's about implementing these small, consistent adjustments.
Just small changes.
It's done consistently.
Yeah.
Done consistently that compound over time.
Yeah.
To produce those big results.
Absolutely.
And what's so powerful about this is that these principles aren't limited to just financial success.
Right.
Like Graziosi emphasizes that these habits
Yeah.
can improve every area of your life.
Every area.
Your relationships,
Yeah.
your health, your family life, your overall sense of fulfillment.
It's about creating that holistic sense of well-being.
It's about being the best version of yourself.
The best version of you.
Yeah, in all areas of your life.
Not just in your bank account.
Not just in your bank account, exactly.
Right.
And now I know what you might be thinking.
What's that?
You might be thinking, I don't have time for this.
Yeah.
Like, I'm already so busy.
I'm overwhelmed.
I'm overwhelmed.
I don't have time to add more stuff.
I don't have time to add more stuff to my plate.
Yeah.
But here's the thing.
What's that?
It's not about adding more to your to-do list.
Right.
It's about identifying and replacing those old unproductive habits.
Yeah. So it's about replacing.
Replacing, not adding.
Not adding.
Yeah.
Got it.
So it's about decluttering your life.
I like that.
Getting rid of the mental and behavioral baggage.
Yeah.
That's holding you back.
That's weighing you down.
It's weighing you down, yeah.
Right.
And making space for those habits that will actually serve you better.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like decluttering your physical space.
Yeah.
But you're decluttering your mind.
You're decluttering your mind.
And your habits.
And your habits, exactly.
Okay.
And Graziosi then shifts gears a little bit.
Okay.
And he starts talking about the current economic landscape.
Which,
let's face it, is a little bit...
It's a little bit uncertain.
It's a little bit uncertain these days.
Yeah, a little bit unstable.
Yeah, there's a lot of...
A lot of turmoil. A lot of change happening.
A lot of change, yeah.
And a lot of division.
A lot of division.
Yeah.
There's this climate of uncertainty, there's political divisions, there's distrust of established institutions, there's even distrust of successful entrepreneurs.
Right. Some people just see them as, out of touch.
Yeah, greedy.
Yeah.
And then you've got these social norms that are rapidly changing.
Right. It's hard to keep up sometimes.
It's hard to keep up with it all, yeah.
It's like the world's spinning faster and faster.
And I think a lot of people feel that way.
They do.
They feel like they're working harder than ever before, but they're not seeing a corresponding improvement.
Yeah.
In their financial well-being.
In their quality of life.
In their quality of life.
Yeah.
Or their overall security.
They're not getting ahead.
They're not getting ahead.
They're just treading water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Graziosi actually presents some data to back this up.
Okay, so what does the data say?
So figure 1.1 in his book illustrates that since 1973, despite a significant and continuous rise in productivity and efficiency.
So we're producing more. We're doing more.
We're doing more. We're more efficient.
More efficient.
Wage growth for the majority of people has essentially stagnated.
So our wages haven't kept pace.
They haven't kept pace.
With our productivity.
Yeah. And this really helps to explain why so many people feel like they're constantly on this treadmill.
Right.
They're doing more, but they're not getting ahead financially.
They're not reaping the rewards.
Of
all that hard work.
Exactly. And the picture becomes even clearer.
Okay.
When you look at the widening income gap.
Yeah, the gap between the rich and the poor.
The gap between the rich and the poor, exactly.
The haves and the have-nots.
The haves and the have-nots.
Yeah.
So figure 1.2 in the book shows that since 1981, the top 1% has experienced a 138% increase in their income.
138%.
138%.
Wow.
While the bottom 90%
Okay.
has only seen a 5% increase.
5%.
5%.
That's a huge disparity.
It's a huge disparity.
Yeah.
And Graziosi suggests
Yeah.
that this trend is really pointing toward
Towards what?
a two-tiered society.
Yeah, so you've got the very wealthy.
You got the very wealthy.
And then everybody else.
And then everybody else.
Right.
And it's putting this enormous strain on the traditional middle class.
Yeah, and it's making it harder and harder for people to get ahead.
For people to get ahead.
To achieve that American dream.
To achieve that American dream, yeah.
Yeah.
And he even makes us question...
Question what?
Our definition of the middle class.
Okay.
I asked this really thought-provoking question.
Yeah.
He says, if a $120,000 annual income requires both partners to work full-time, often sacrificing, quality time with their family and personal pursuits.
Right, so you're working all the time.
You're working all the time.
Or stressed.
You're stressed, you're exhausted.
Yeah.
You're not seeing your kids.
You're missing out on life.
You're missing out on life.
Yeah.
Does that truly represent a desirable middle-class life?
That's a good question.
It's a really good question.
Right, because it's not just about the money.
It's not just about the money.
It's about the quality of life.
It's about the quality of life. It's about having time for the things that matter.
Time freedom.
Time freedom, yeah.
Yeah.
And so he encourages us to really shift our focus.
Shift our focus from what to what?
From this traditional definition of the middle class to one that's centered on achieving personal economic control.
So it's not about how much you make.
Yeah.
It's about how much you control.
How much you control.
Your financial situation.
Your financial situation, yeah.
Okay.
And he uses this analogy of a thermometer versus a thermostat.
Okay, I like that.
So a thermometer,
it
just reacts to the external temperature.
It's just measuring what's already there.
It's just measuring what's already there.
Yeah.
But a thermostat, you can set it out.
You can set it.
At a temperature you want.
And it will create that temperature.
It will create that temperature. So he's saying, don't be a thermometer.
Right.
Don't just react.
Don't just be a victim of your circumstances.
Don't be a victim of your circumstances.
Yeah.
Be a thermostat.
Take control.
Take control of your financial environment.
And create the life you want.
And create the life you want regardless of what